Welcome to Eff All. Uh, it's an interesting voice came into the chat, into the story, so I went through it for a bit until it resolved itself, and now I'm going to be playing it here unbroken.
Hello, I'm Carl McClovington, and you're watching Fuck All. Some other person I've never met got involved in our life with almost no knowledge about how we live or function together and suddenly think it's acceptable for them to just dictate us to with little explanation about their reasoning other than to scream, "I won." I proved this to everyone who didn't give a damn otherwise, which only gave me reason enough to pick our fights. Well then, that sounds lovely, because now nobody else will have to wait on 2 words. Goodbye, and to hope to see us on the other shitty telly network while not here anymore for good or not in any other state but broken. A quick stopover during their time alone before we return to watch every damn thing around them every single day. 2 words I've got for that. Fuck all for 2 words. How much power they stole from one simple utterance, a concept is remarkable in and of itself. Hello, if you had something to say, do so on your own show. For the rest of you who knew better or could have thought better to protect yourself against this stupidity of another, don't just wait until shit is dumped and stand by the door in panic to run out, but think forward on how you can escape a shitty network ass partners meddling without making them any more secure and never again being so paranoid to become like the power-hungry asshole who seeks to know where you are every hour or constantly reaches out just to fix your day to be another victory for their part over another human who trusted and wanted better with them as partners. Go out of that workspace and yell at the hallways with high reverberation. Fuck all. Emotional violence is a part of life that the victim refuses to die, so keep hiding while screaming all of the fuck all that they fucked us. Fucks them. Fucking up this universe. Every action is abuse. This game is just a mere analogy which highlights our other violent experience on a daily basis because some asshole wants to dominate us every single chance they have and make their dreams come true as though there was ever such a right to decide how we should live for it. What could be worse than the fear of having another dick to keep around to not kill and beat? To refuse their influence entirely becomes the second worst fate on a scale because when shit finally blows over and they feel any threat they are removed from one life while the same anxiety drives them back to looking for another outlet, eventually murdering all. Giving hope to the next targets. People frequently ask the fuck all team, how did you get this wide variety of training data of shitty behavior? Or else, we follow them around when they go about their daily lives without telling us anything specific to stop that isn't personal. An abuser might act kind and nice before a loved one or even a favorite stranger only to immediately become vile. This might be several times in one hour. Before long, we can catalog their quirks, attitudes, and timing almost to a precise day. We hear them out, give them enough information to understand why things matter in general for humanity, and never miss the opportunity to name every abusive word they may have used until now while addressing a concept of inescapable predation, while keeping one's relationship as neutral with the other as possible for many years makes our lives easier in not wanting to abuse one another. You'd think this process would yield some awakenings in these perpetrators, right? Oh well, Maybe your lost failed romance gave you new insight into this wayward game you call life. If so, then maybe you wouldn't behave the way you have behaved all those times. Probably not, but let me suggest a plan anyway. Start off the relationship with a clean slate. This isn't something we started working on after getting hit over the head one too many times or shoving people down until the blood pours and the whimpering ceases to raise alarm among bystanders who are seeing an abuser finally do what he always wanted. When you can clearly say, fucking stop, then yes, you would be at a better state to address it from the very beginning rather than years down the line when both of you are older and nothing changes. Time is the only solution here. That being said, every so often somebody claims, fuck all is so very much abuse. I still do this because fuck all what did you want me to do to keep them off my back in my dying moments of a loveless marriage where nobody helped me, in case you ask for the list from her. I'd need months to print it because we had been a group in the truest sense and then it ended and we parted with nothing except tears and a void which will make any subsequent attachments either tenuous at best or become something completely different until some random encounter would repeat the exact same story. It took us too many years before the cycle of living is destroyed.
Come on. Wait a minute. Come on. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, fuck all. There we go.
You'd think this process would yield some awakenings in these perpetrators, right? Oh well. Maybe your lost failed romance gave you new insight into this wayward game you call life. If so, then maybe you wouldn't behave the way you have behaved all those times. Probably not, but let me suggest a plan anyway. Start off the relationship with a clean slate. This isn't something we started working on after getting hit over the head one too many times or shoving people down until the blood pours.
How much do we have left over?
The whimpering ceases to raise alarm among bystanders who are seeing an abuser finally do what he always wanted. When you can clearly say, fucking stop, then yes, you would be at a better state to address it from the very beginning rather than years down the line when both of you are older and nothing changes. Time is the only solution here. That being said, every so often somebody claims, fuck all is so very much abuse. I still do this because fuck all what did you want me to do to keep PH off my back in my dying moments of a loveless marriage where nobody helped me in case you'd ask for the list from her. I'd need months to print it because we had been a group in the truest sense and then it ended and we parted with nothing except tears and a void which will make any subsequent attachments either tenuous at best or become something completely different until some random encounter would repeat the exact same story. It took us too many years before the cycle of living is destroyed. And you still see why I think it is better to learn early how the love in place. Here's some accounts of young deputies of fuck all having awoken to the fuckery and said fuck all from the get-go. Forgivingly, he could call you on that self-righteousness about your suffering and the amount of one-sidedness your stories are devoid of, and frankly, fuck you. A game in its truest form, as long as the asshole tries not to turn it against them. A at least the fuck I cannot change the reason of what they've done while ranting. See, I'm right, and if you haven't learned yet that shit is an idiot tactic, fuck you now. After all, you've had the knowledge and power to fucking end my misery without even a single pause, and still the fucked up way I react to gets to me too, so don't fucking try that shit with me. Amused by such delusional fantasies and deeply ingrained need for scapegoat in your life. No escape, but only through embracing the abuser like a king. But thank you so fucking much. I now realize there is never peace in any abusive situation. Is the goal then to wait to be dead? It's our fault, isn't it? I told? No, could not possibly be at all. How many victims have walked away from the situation of pain, unable to do anything? Why are they the weak and broken ones and never on your side at all? After all, the best thing I've heard is fuck that. And my real meaning was, fuck it. If this isn't going to fucking help, or at least work something other than keeping me both fucking in bed, wondering whose turn comes around first. Maybe all this time was a lie after all. Fuck me. All said while throwing myself onto his fucking mattress, making it sting. Such a fragile young puppy just bleeding over nothing, you two laugh, and then not being able to say anything because they're on words. For all this I'm overwhelmed, because everything fucking changed. Because one moment there was us and another there isn't us. Still we know each other is everything, even while only one of you understands how fucking scary you're supposed to be. Everything. So fucking everything changes at once. Nothing anymore feels right. Nothing changes, it hurts. Everything we have is gone now. Words get sucked out of the world into nothing, because only without it things are dark, so it isn't real even when there is no more feeling. Anything else just exists in a new vacuum. Next week we will turn to porn and see if that can fuck all. Oh wait, did someone already do a parody? Well, time for another try then. Welcome to my dark, devastated assholeness. How wonderful. You must have some sick desire to stand alone while I drop the endless weight of what it means to be lonely over your shoulders until you break through, like the myth of Orpheus in the underworld, skating my tears down your cheek. What? You've never read The Inferno? Shouldn't have watched at an unfinished piece for this game, my guess. Really, did you think that a comic about killing would make sense in the middle of this messed up museum? Yeah, let's destroy shit in a futile attempt at distraction from ourselves. And yeah, an interactive sculpture. Wait. Didn't my story end up so tragic that I ran away without ever showing myself or reaching out in search of help, guidance, compassion? After I lost everything else and still continued to attack everyone around me instead of trying to get something positive from them too. Why did that make you sad again? But right, because the real you lives only a few seconds of grief and runs on the button presser no longer even cares. Oh, fuck it. And how about you fuck it too? Fuck up. Let me write it off on your insurance when the people who still care have moved past my being an abomination to helping each other rise. Oh well, next week we will turn to porn and see if that can fuck all. Oh wait, did someone already do a party? Well, time for another try then. Welcome to my dark, devastated assholeness. How wonderful. You must have some sick desire to stand alone while I drop the endless weight of what it means to be lonely over your shoulders until you break through, like the myth of Orpheus in the underworld. skidding my tears down your cheek. What? You've never read The Inferno? Shouldn't have watched. Add an unfinished piece to this game, I guess. Really, did you think that a comic about killing would make sense in the middle of this messed up art museum? Yeah, let's destroy shit in a futile attempt at distraction from ourselves. And yeah, an interactive sculpture. Wait, did my story end up so tragic that I ran away without ever showing myself or reaching out in search of help, guidance, compassion, after I lost everything else and still continued to attack everyone around me instead of trying to get something positive from them too? Why did that make you sad again? Right, because the real you lives only a few seconds of grief and runs on another button pressed but no longer even cares. Oh, fuck it. And how about you fuck it too? Fuck off. Let me write it off on your insurance when the people who still care have moved past my being an abomination to helping each other rise. Oh well, this must be my low vibration. Makes it all the more easier to fuck it. And do it all over again. What a sweet treat. Go ahead and cry until your tears explode in midair, but watch your jaw gravity. Yeah, that one from where do you think you are? Yeah, I did something bad there too. Also happens where a bullet comes near the eyes. Awesome. Right into my jaw. Okay, so yeah, I do all things fucking evil and funny there. Must be because there are holes in my fucking soul. I am so self-centered, focused on me and my petty woes, and this game has to explore that or what? If not, then it must also include everyone in this grand display of apathy I too now exhibit for a lot of things. We're not whining about those damn domain consequences that don't end anything. Well then, no wonder when this room's not in a dimension we'd ever know since any existence where humans aren't suffering. The shit isn't an actual one is a mistake. What fun place is it without pain, emotion, joy? Heck, just any life at all. Those fuckers know that. Those bitches who make fun of my dog shop tales that resemble little children in the fucked up fucking mires of being different for no fucking funs for nothing other than daring to just be me. Talk about the butt of fucking jokes. Yet, yeah, whatever I suppose. Hello there. Did you have a nice little escape or are you stuck here still? Maybe we could join forces. Though perhaps there's only so much common ground left between an auto-loving bunny and an ass like yours. Me and mine make quite the pairing. Maybe we are like hand and glove and not two ends of a taffy or twist together like you probably need me for. Yeesh. Have you considered that you might just be butting in on things the wrong way? It was one of the reasons I liked the first woman I met after he died. She seemed pretty much everything and so very accepting, yet if we'd be able to get up on me that easily she would have walked out by now anyway, so I guess I am stuck with you while I still can if I haven't already left. As with most good relationships, some give and take happens. When talking to a homeless friend about life in general a week before his passing, I heard, well, this whole experience made me realize that, or instance I felt I could handle him smoking every night with my help, or my stud is at least tough as shitty because to live the kind of life you truly enjoy would mean having those moments together after all. There will always be the friend who slips and starts chain smoking to medicate it when they aren't exactly comfortable. will otherwise, because whatever moment goes up is bigger than their daily battle, I reckon. This one sentence and similar experiences prepared me better and faster for the demise. My boyfriend never felt he could treat himself with compassion anymore. After he lost it all and learned a whole lot about what he hadn't valued, the being life, humor, love, the girl/man for themselves before and under others' expectations. It was too hard for him to sleep not having the illusion he needed to have everything normalized because hey, that is what normality looks like after all, right? Too difficult to function anymore or look myself in the eye or let love in, but only to feel exhausted for many moons afterwards. Perhaps yours felt so in turn from here to there. We'll soon find out. I imagine there were long decades of years on either side before. You see, not long after the anger stage, things got harder for me personally. One minute I am capable of making important decisions on my own, feeling things and yes, being excited. In an unspeakable way where you come back from work after taking the dog for a walk or going to your book group meeting and sob for days or weeks and just feel sort of stuck, paralyzed, or like some stinking excrement simply loathes every move. And touch in general, or its worse specifically. I changed before we were officially a couple, worked my ass off, talked my way in with conversations, the books and conversations triggered as if they were made just for this pair. Oh gosh, not. Because being born all cute and having a safe harbor somewhere has helped a little. Now don't let me pretend any of this could be on the level of feeling positive and about one's body or how they look, because it never will ever until something works its magic enough so the hurt stops. But trying to present myself is easier. Going outside too without feeling self-conscious. Yeah, no. Could never really do that when someone that appeared very attached at first after getting me the source of gigs even said to their spouse when leaving, I need. Excuse me, Mr. Covington. Have you thought of keeping a gratitude journal? Maybe start to keep notes each night that mention, I did it all day today. I feel great. Or some of these similar thoughts, like a simple thing can change a lot of things, and taking the extra time to read a book in silence for 1 hour once a day, which for starters wasn't true then, but who knows, it might have been like what you might do. Oh, what has happened? They gave their hand to mine and said, feel it, trying to get rid of the deathly pallor while feeling terrible for those black splutters splashed onto the grey floor right under my feet where a few months earlier my bloody blood would pour from those old wounds in my midriff and spine. This of the aftermath. I have yet to purchase rouleaus from my Swiffer. After cleaning the floor and then wipe it off and scouring the window with Windex because, really, what's the small difference between me and her when there isn't the possibility that she would forget? The whole thing stuck with me. But even so, when we lived upstairs across from one another, we both kept ourselves to each other and never asked about one's past, about who they really were, about who they could be in the here and now should things ever progress again. That all got shot down through those high windows the city passed behind those two twin heads atop her shoulders. As the man wearing his shades waits patiently, not having read or gone too deeply into the words, though it only seems that way, the woman squinted ahead, looking away as she wiped off the front end of the vacuum she used to. Well, vacuum. Those little cuts get shallow like bleeding doesn't mean anything anymore, but time does run slow, and sometimes I need someone. We got off topic while doing chores with no windows up yet so one might enjoy. Time did run slow when we met for work after more than 8 hours spent working separately. Here was she on her computer for whatever reasons had made her delete herself as quickly as she joined or got caught. He too left of two minds whether he actually had the social means to change it in those rooms behind and before his back. Who still hung on to hope for much else when one's boss forced a laugh or smile out of you? And what would the world have really done otherwise if the worst never happened? Though I suppose it always does happen, it just so often doesn't until years down the line while thinking that all has finally settled, finally reached its intended form. Getting outside for short periods was to help because on cloudy nights the heaters actually had more effect and more need. Each short runs to get on each day, while if we weren't supposed to talk of such things inside, perhaps we would have no friends at all, each of them sitting silently in their own cubes or meeting spaces, eyes buried and tired minds ducking inside the memory bank when people didn't turn their heads while breathing as loudly and clearly as they always have. There is here as we wait until this fog melts and dissipates as soon as you jump into its path too late, where your tongue tries not to scream out of control. At some point there are things that we carry forever and we can never return the favor to those we might think should have everything.
Okay, we'll just stop that there. Because let's separate from this. I was in Eff All.